All right, welcome to Spoiler Kings. Tank Kramer, Brian the Grizzly, and we got Perp Minded back with us. What is up? We are talking about another Oscar-nominated movie, Avatar: The Way of Water. Very pretty looking movie that it just destroyed the box office. And I don't think it's ending anytime soon.
$2.249 billion. Come on.
Yeah. It's I think top three now. Did it break the top three?
I think it's top three right now. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Dude. So we're gonna talk about that one. But before we go, Perp, you want to give a shout out to your channel?
Yes, my channel's Perp Minded. You know what I'm saying? And I also got a TikTok channel as well that I upload content on there as well. Also follow me on Twitter. I'm very active on there.
Yeah.
I'm on there like 24/7. I don't sleep. I ain't got no life, so that's all I do. So definitely come check me out.
Cool. Yeah. So there's stuff right there. Bunch of good stuff. Bunch of reviews. Some shorts. All that good stuff, man. You got all Cocaine Bear already. So you get all the good stuff.
I gotta do it tomorrow, man. That's all right.
Yeah. So definitely go check out Perp, man. He's 2.6K. So he's got to get that 3,000, man. He's got way too much good content.
Yeah, let's get him 3,000 by June. Come on, so let's all support him. Let's get him there right now.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. But cool. So we're talking about Avatar: The Way of Water. Good, bad. What are you guys thinking? What are you thinking, Perp?
Oh man, I love this movie. And going into it, I didn't know what to expect. Because I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. So it's like this movie has a lot going for it. It has to really win people over, and obviously it did. But and I came out surprised. I really enjoyed it. I liked the introduction of the kids. I think that was some of the most interesting things about the movie, and just where they're going to go with this franchise. It has me really excited to see Avatar 3 and beyond. The visuals. And I even told people this. I was like, yo, you're going to look at these visuals and stuff like Marvel and Star Wars ain't going to catch up for another probably 5 years to this type of stuff, at this quality, at this level quality. And it's just you could just tell that a lot of blood and sweat went into this movie, from just planning it out and stuff like that, and putting it all together. It's dope.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely immerses you. You got to watch it in Dolby or IMAX on the biggest screen possible and the best quality possible, because I think it has the variable was that refresh rate or
variable refresh rate,
yeah. So I mean, you think about it, you're like, yeah, whatever. It makes a big difference. Something like
difference.
This is insane. Hey, what's up?
What's up, House of Nerd Show? Man, so my comic book guy really appreciate you. I keep on going in and getting more stuff. He's like, man, tell them, give them a shout out. Thank you.
There you go. Have him promote that channel over at the comic book store.
Exactly. That's what I told him.
But yeah, House of Nerd Show in the house. What's up, guys? Talking about Avatar: Way of Water. Yeah, man, it definitely immerses you. There's times you forget you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
You're just so sucked into it, and it feels like you're just part of the world, especially 3D. I watch it 3D. I don't think the 3D was as good as the first one. Maybe just at the same level, but I think the first one had a lot more hype on it. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh my god, it's life changing. This is the greatest 3D ever. And this one was at least the same level, maybe a little bit better, but I think I expected that already, so it wasn't anything crazy. But man, yeah, watching it, I mean, it was
different.
It just gorgeous.
Like I said, for people that just haven't seen the movie and think it's just all hype, it's one of those things you gotta just see it to kind of believe it, and just
yeah.
And some people are not into the technical stuff, but it will really make you appreciate special effects, and just I just don't understand how they did that. Just certain things was just yo, how did you make that do this? Or just the water, the stuff underwater is incredible.
Yeah.
and just the 3D effects. I think, and to your point, I think the 3Ds were actually better in this one, just because it's like when you see something raining, it felt like you were being rained on. Like I was just like, wow, this shit is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking the 3D because the 3D was still probably the best 3D movie I've seen since the first Avatar. But
the only reason to see a 3D movie is to watch Avatar.
Yeah. Like I don't bother any other 3D movies except for Avatar movies. Like you have to watch it in 3D. That's the best way to watch it. Yeah, man. And, same thing. I came out of the theater, and I think there was a few times like when we did our review on Spoiler Kings, and we were just like, how did they do that? You know, because it's just like it was just so like flawless. You know, usually you can see an issue. You're like, oh, I saw
it's hard.
That looks a little weird.
It's hard to see. It's hard to see any hiccups or anything like that. It's just really clean. It's just like, and with the high frame rate too, it's just like that. Because most movies look weird with that high frame rate, but I think it works for Avatar just because there's a lot of motion and stuff like that going on, so it kind of helps it. But man, that's just, where's the 4K Blu-ray? I need that.
I cannot wait.
Oh my goodness, man, that definitely worked.
Yeah, and the House of Nerds said, "Way of Water, straight up popcorn entertainment beast. It really is, man. I couldn't even eat during it because you're just so like I had popcorn, and once the movie started, like I really didn't touch it, you know. And you're so immersed that you're just like, you know, it looked gorgeous. I don't know. What do you think, Brian, about anything right now?
I hate to be the hater.
Careful,
but do I really? We all know me.
Yeah, I know. Right?
No, I believe honestly it's probably the most beautiful movie I've ever seen. Technically, James Cameron is a genius. Like there should be an award, the James Cameron Award, for the things that he comes up with.
Yeah.
You know, how do you make reality look more reality? Like it's like this is better than what I look with my eyes. This is crazy. It literally looks that good. I mean, underwater, you feel like you're underwater and you still see everything so clearly, but it still feels like it's underwater. It's so good. As far as the technical part, that's why I'm with. As far as the plot, the plot holes are crazy to me. I think it makes no sense for him to become chief of this clan, and he finally been accepted to, and say, I'm the leader of this clan, and then not 5 minutes later, he's like, all right, we gotta go, we gotta leave. What? What did I teach you? What did her father teach you all those times? Like, you were supposed to be there to protect the clan. The clan is part of your family. It's not just your family, it's all of us. We are all the same people. And the fact that he was willing to leave blew my mind from the beginning. I was like, what? And in fact,
I mean, the whole place was like pretty much destroyed when they were just landing and stuff. Like,
but they're still people. They're the people. You know, they kept calling, we're the people. That's how they call themselves. And then you're leaving the people. It's not like the whole village left.
Yeah,
it was just them.
The whole reasoning behind it too was kind of silly. Like, oh, we need to leave so we can protect them. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, they're gonna go there looking for you, and when you're not there, they're just gonna destroy everything. You know, because like it doesn't make any sense. Like, I
killed all those people that you were in charge of.
Yeah.
I think that always brings me back to like to Black Panther, when he always says, like, it's hard to be a leader and a king, like a good man and a king. Like, you have to be able to balance that out. When you're responsible for all those lives, you got to make hard decisions, and some of that decisions is not to run off. You got to be there with that family, with the people. That's what a man would do. Like me, I would probably, if I wasn't a king, I'd protect my family. But when I am responsible for everyone else, and that's what I felt like he learned. He was with everyone, and he learned that these people matter, and that I'm one of them. I'm one of the people. And then like the next movie he's leaving, it blew me away. Totally blew me away. And so I had a problem with that.
I think it's just like the kind of like that spur of the moment where it's just like they had no really time to plan. They had to just, I think they will go back to that spot eventually once they're able to,
if there's
go
there,
to war.
because
Yeah.
all the people are dead.
If it's
Because
dead,
they came looking for Jake. So you knew they know where you are, and they came looking for him, and he left them defenseless. Without his military planning, without having any other plans for the people, I mean, at all. It just I felt that was against everything he learned. And so I was like, if that was the point, then what was the point of even having the first movie?
Yeah. I mean, it was just that the whole plot was pretty much the same as the first movie. I mean, like, oh, these people are coming to attack, and now you're part of a new tribe, a new group of people, and now you need to learn their customs, and now you have to save the world, or at least their world. It was just a literally repeat, and then they added the kids in, which were cool, but those were recycled stories too.
You see, each one was a piece of Jake's journey. So those are things I enjoyed. Like, it's like he took his personality and separated and gave it to each one of the kids, and each one had to deal with something. And you had the prodigal son. So, like, once again, I feel like there's a lot of story types in there. So you have the virgin birth, the Virgin Mary birth. You have that, right? Then you have the prodigal son, and the good son who listens to him and is the leader, has no plot at all, and it's the bad son who does everything wrong. He's the one that gets to live. And you knew that was going to happen because you could see the way the movie was going. So, I mean, those is just having those. So, I mean, it's like they didn't have any plot. They had this beautiful film, and they knew they had to come up with a plot. And they were like, let's do this. The bad guy from the first one, let's clone him. But that wasn't anything that we did. That was not anything there. But, okay, let's do it. I'm with you. It's a movie. If we can suspend, reality, we'll clone them, and then we're gonna put them in the bodies of avatars. Genius, guys! But it's just, really, that's what you did?
Yeah.
But you had to do that just to get the plot going.
Yeah. That undermines the first one, because then, like, why not just clone Jake's mind and throw him in this other avatar, and like, oh, hey, you stay back on Earth because you're handicapped, but we're gonna take your mind. Or even his brother who died, so you didn't clone his mind. I think they
mentioned it was like it was kind of like a backup plan just in case anything happened to him. So they always had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of went back and had a before scene before we actually did this, and we thought we were going to win, no problem. We cloned his mind. Really, dude? That's what you did? That's what we came up with? We had 11 years, and that's what you came up with.
But that's what I said. Like, I think the strongest point of this movie are the kids, because like they all have the kind of different personalities and stuff, and they still have kind of like they have a lot of that Earth, that like they still have that, like, that American, kind of upbringing because of Jake and stuff. So like a lot of stuff, like when they go to the water tribe and stuff, like they're kind of like
a fish out of water.
Fish out of water and stuff. But like
they have 5 fingers, and and they don't have any webs or anything, and their tails are weak, and things that a person who's creating them wouldn't notice, but that you notice when you're going against people that are really from there, and that's kind of cool.
I agree to some extent with the villain, even though I kind of liked the way they handled the villain this time around. But what I'm more excited to see what they do with Spider's character, because like he is definitely going to be the next, probably the next big bad in the future. I think that's what they're going to set him up for.
Really?
Yeah.
That was interesting. Yeah.
He's so. I can't talk Spider without playing this.
Yeah, I know.
That's Spider.
He's a thornberry.
Because I definitely think he has all the reason to kind of like flip on them, because they never accepted him anyways. You know what I'm saying? And
true.
He helped what's his face survive anyways, and that's going to cause a huge rift.
Yep.
In 3, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just curious to see where this story goes, because it's like, if you just look at the first 2 as just like introductions to the world, there's just like, we haven't even really got to like the meat and the potatoes and stuff like that yet. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if you do, because we just talked about like Top Gun, like they kind of like has similar similar beats when it comes to sequels and stuff, but also expanding on certain things as far as like the family and those are going to be like the next ones to take over. I think Jake's going to die in this next one, but that's just
I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot.
I didn't expect the son to die though. That's what's crazy because I thought Jake was going to die in this one. I thought Jake was going to sacrifice himself in this movie.
But when you have when you start the storyline of the prodigal son, like it was a total biblical storyline. You saw it beat for
right
beat
off the bat
how it was going. He's the one who's being outcast, and he finds someone else that's going to be with him that he seems like himself in, and then he's going to come back to the family, and he's going to get all the rewards, and he's going to end up being king, even though he didn't do anything right and never listened to anyone and any of the elders. Like it's the prodigal son, just like the virgin birth is there. You see her as the virgin birth. She is the living embodiment of Awa. That's what they have. They just threw these things because these are the greatest stories of all time. Like this is what can you say with the story of the birth of Christ? It is like literally the greatest story, the greatest thing you could ever wrap your mind around because it's built in love, it's built in charity, it's built in selflessness. So like you can't argue with that type of story.
There's definitely like a lot of biblical, like where they're at is kind of like the Garden of Eden,
exactly.
And now it's just like the sky people, fallen angels or something like that. They're trying to take over and just terraform and stuff like that. Very interesting stuff, though. Very interesting when you look deeper into it.
Yeah, that's why. But I knew right away. I'm like, oh, he's gonna die right away because, like what Brian said, it was like when they got in trouble the first time, and the older son got all the heat, and then the younger one is going, and he got it. I'm like, oh, I know what they're gonna do. I'm like, I hope they don't, but they did, and I was like, all right.
I didn't catch on until they went to go back to go get Spider. If they never went to go back to get Spider, he would still been alive.
Yeah. Because for a minute I thought it was.
If something happens, they were going to blame him.
Everyone, and that's another thing that they could play around with. Like it's like, yo, you got my brother killed and stuff like this. Like he could kind of throw that blame at Spider and stuff, and that could cause a rift between them. So.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that definitely happening. Like you're the reason why this happened. You helped them and you did that, and you're really human. And I could definitely see that. And then them kind of pushing him away and stuff.
The character that took that got completely sidelined was Nateri. She got even though her action scenes was fire, but it's just like she got completely sidelined and shit.
It definitely was like, come on, she might be the best actor of all of them, and then you sidelined her. Really? That's what's going on.
Yeah. even after her, she was the most underused character. But Jake, was really underused for majority of the movie until the very end. Like
besides
they
didn't
use him.
He just made mistake after mistake like
doing stupid stuff. I thought
he's screwing everybody over. The rest of the water people. I don't know how they'll follow him because he's
I'm okay with that because that leaves the door open for like his character to grow, to learn from all these experiences. It's like, oh damn, it's just like all these different cultures and stuff like that. I'm still kind of new to this, and
he didn't learn from the first movie, and he left his people. And I tell you, this is going to come back up. Someone else in those water tribes are going to say, "Why do we listen to you? You did the same thing for them, and you left them, and they're all gone."
Yeah.
And and then they're gonna go to another tribe, the fire tribe, whatever, for the people, and then they're gonna be like, "Why are we listening to you? We know who you are."
That would be interesting. Like if those people just ended up ditching that place and just joined the fire people or joined other tribes and stuff like that, and they just split up, and that could be interesting.
The first group of people, the people he left.
Yeah, like they go to somewhere else and they hear the stories of what happened is that their leader left them in the lurch. So he had all these things and he had all the power. They took the power of AWA with them and left them in the lurch. And now they're with the fire people and they're telling like, no, you don't trust.
Yeah, I really think things like changed though for him when he had kids though, because then that just like I don't think he was really like
Yeah, but that's the point though. Sometimes like if you're the leader, or either that, or you
gotta step it
prepare
up.
them to be have another leader, or say, I'm not going to accept the leadership. But once you bury the princess, you have ownership in it, and he did not do that. And I feel like that was so bad.
Maybe he's not really the chosen one though. Maybe it's his one son that's the one that's supposed to
The one who got his
actually be
brother
that.
killed.
Yeah.
No, it's what's her name? It's the
Her too. Yeah, her too. I think she's gonna play a big part
was
in
there
She's the
whatever goes.
virgin birth. She's the virgin birth. Yeah,
she's
it's
good.
all her.
But I know like the big thing a lot of people talk about is like the whole like it's hard to say because they're blue, but white savior kind of thing, because it's kind of the same mentality. The white blue. But I mean, besides a lot of the biblical kind of storylines, they also threw a lot of like colonialism in there, the white savior in there. So
how come Jake keeps on going to these places that have been there for years, and he becomes a leader? Come on, bro.
The best.
As soon as he's there, I'm the greatest. Why?
Yeah.
Because you were what? A jarhead? Come on, man. You could have been killed in the first scene. Done. It just
fell off a tree.
He gets to go there. I know how to do this better than everybody. No, come on, man. Get that. Was it Dances with Wolves out here? I can't deal with that. Last Samurai.
Oh my God.
It's what when he dropped into a place that has 10,000 years of culture. You learn it in 5 minutes, and then you're the leader. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I love movies.
But I mean, it's
it's funny because I'm talking all this stuff. It was a very good movie. I still enjoyed the movie. I have problems with the plot holes.
Yeah. So like Brandon said, like that his girlfriend, she didn't like the first one and doesn't want to see this one, which I get because I didn't not like the first one, but I thought the first one was kind of like this. It looked great, and it looks great. You go to see an Avatar movie because you get lost in the visuals, because the stories are very, very mid. They're very kind of average stories that you've seen and heard before. But it says they didn't even like the look of the blue aliens, which was, I guess, they're kind of weird. Well, I mean, after the first one, there was like people who wanted to have sex with the blue alien, with the Navi people, which is super weird, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
I was like, she's like 13 feet tall, bro.
Yeah, that's a tall glass.
Yeah, I'm 6'5", but come on.
But I think even if you didn't like the first one, you should just definitely give this one a chance, because like for me, like I wasn't really checking for Avatar like that. I was kind of like, I think they waited too long. But nah, it's just this kind of made me it made me appreciate like the first one a little bit more, and just like what they're trying to do, making a new franchise, because that's all everybody ever asked for. Like, yo, make new stuff, but then when they make something new, people don't want to support it, or name whatever excuse X, Y, and Z, and just that then they want to complain like, oh, why are we getting all these remakes? Because you're not supporting Avatars, or you're not supporting this new stuff.
I mean, Avatar is still recycling storylines, but
I think that's
most movies are all recycled.
You're 100%. You are 1,000% correct with that one. Most movies do. You're right.
Yeah,
like the MCU has been recycling like the same kind of formula for how many movies now? Like people still go through.
Only 35 movies. Come on, ain't
Yeah. I mean, like you said, everything. Something's like either a form of Romeo and Juliet kind of storytelling, or there's something very basic. Stories that we've heard for decades and at this point, like hundreds of years. Yeah. So. But I mean, that's kind of like it gets both worlds. It's like, here's something new, shiny, and fancy, but we were taking the stories that and love and just put in blue people instead of real people. So you can get away with other stuff, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's also safe. It's very safe. That way, safe. You don't make anyone angry. You're not coming after anyone's culture. You're not doing anything because we're going off of the same stories that we all know, we all love. We're going to put it into our movies. I mean, it's a genius thing to do if you want to make a lot of money, because no one's angry. Everyone, I'm pointing out these bad parts, but guess what? I saw the movie twice. Like that. They still got my money. So like,
it's still 3 times.
Like
3, nice.
So I mean, as much as I'm saying these things, and I think everything I'm saying, I will stand behind 100%. But it still made the money, and it's good because it doesn't offend anyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, people were trying. People were trying to. We're trying to like say certain things about like you got white people with like with dreads and stuff like that. It was just like a lot of cultural appropriation type shit going on. But that kind of like that went under the. Yeah.
Open your front door. You're gonna see that every day. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's crazy though.
Yeah, I mean this movie made its money because of international. It made 1.5 billion, over 1.5 billion internationally. It only made 660 domestically. So
wow, that's crazy.
So, but that's the thing is like you're making a story that has stories, and a lot of like say like China, for instance, loves its old stories, and a lot of stories even in America are kind of similar to other cultures. They change details, but things are basically the same, man. Just with details changed. So when you get something like that, like, oh, we love that story, and now it's nice and fancy with new like blue people, and and now it doesn't make anybody upset. It's definitely gonna play it best for international. And I think James Cameron knows that. He goes, Americans are gonna like it, but people around the world are gonna love it.
And it's gonna be interesting, and like the kids that grow up on these movies, like that's gonna be like the Avatars, the MC movies. Those are gonna be like they Star Wars, or they they're big blockbusters and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes after it's done. Like after 5, like where is it going to be at? But I definitely think it's a good thing too, because now it's just like, all right, we don't only have to rely on MCU movies, DC or big. We got another one. We got Avatar now, so it's like maybe that. That Dune too. Like what I'm saying, we're starting to get like more franchises that more people are giving more chances to and stuff like that. We're getting newer IPs and stuff. So, and maybe this will make Marvel step their stuff up. What I'm saying, they're seeing like, all right, this movie made 2 billion, like it was nothing. Why are we struggling to even just hit 1 billion?
Yeah.
Because it's been out 10 weeks, and 2.2?
Yeah, almost 2. Which is almost 2.21, right? Basically.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know which is crazy because he also said like, oh, I think it was like kind of joking, but he said like this movie needs to make 2 billion so he can break even. So it's kind of funny because it broke it and got some, but I think he said he needed to make what? Go ahead.
No, I think he was just trolling people with that, but it worked.
Yeah, $250 million to make a movie. Then you have to do marketing, right? And then it's not just. It took 11 years to make this movie, guys. So this is like it's a lot of money that he probably walked away from. Also, so yeah, he's gonna make his money, and they're gonna probably re-release this. This movie's gonna probably get to like 2.6 by the time it's all
over. We'll definitely get a re-release next year before Avatar 3 and stuff. And I just appreciate James Cameron and just the dedication that he's like, I'm gonna take 13 years out of my life to plan all these movies and stuff. And because that's a risk within itself, especially with a new IP. You never know where things could go. It could completely flop. You know what I'm saying? But just the fact that he put all that time in, it just hard work pays off. That's the best way.
And that's why he didn't put anything to the plot, because the plot could have changed. He was like, what? Don't worry about it. It's gonna be so beautiful. You're not gonna remember it's not a plot. And what? It kind of worked. It kind of worked.
Yeah, I think after it made 1.5, 1.6 bill or somewhere around there, then I think he said like it needed to hit a number, and then he pretty much had an empty check to make another 2 or 3 more. So we're getting because the other ones were always on the book, but it was always kind of like penciled in. After
3's done. 3's done, and I think 4 he's got
already into it.
Yeah, 4. They're into 4 right now and stuff. Yeah, that's so crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, after he hit it, he's like, "Oh yeah, cool." He goes, we're for sure doing like 3 more after it hit a certain number. It was like, because I know the next one was gonna happen for sure
because it was done.
It was done, yeah. But
how much?
Yeah, money it made, so crazy.
How much was that deal? Like, how much money did he get for just doing all these Avatar movies? Like, what was that contract? What did that look like?
How many zeros is on that contract?
We'll probably never know, but he has to get a percentage of the gate. So just imagine if they said you get 20% of the gate. Can you imagine how much money that is? Like, he has this ungodly amount of money. Like, we'll get 20% of the gate, but you got to put 5% of your own money into the movie. But then at the end of the day, for him, that's $400 million. It's something ridiculous.
Man, it's a gajillionaire.
So I'm looking at Business Insider because that was a good question. This article came out like 2 weeks ago, the 13th. The director made at least $95 million for his work on the movie, according to Forbes. Yeah, and then as well as bonuses for passing the certain box office thresholds. So we got bonuses that you don't know about. But it's
also the writer.
At least 95 million. Yeah.
So he gets paid as the director and the main writer. So the story's behind James Cameron.
So here for the first Avatar, he earned $350 million for the first Avatar. Right now, they're just saying he's at 95 million just right off the bat.
Just as the director.
Just as a director.
So writer,
everything else happens.
Producer, because he's producer, he's writer, and he's director.
Yeah, I need a Billy up front. Like, no questions asked. I need a Billy every movie that I make. And like,
that's crazy.
The money, that's just crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's interesting.
Salute to that man.
So I mean, and then it's the 4th biggest movie of all time.
So are we going to ask, does this movie belong, or is it a duh?
That's a good question, because I feel like it's super fun. I don't know if I'm still kind of in the middle. Yeah, the story is terrible. But does the visuals bring it to a whole different level that no other movie can even come close to? And that's why it's nominated, because visually
going to win 8 category awards. It's going, technically and visually, it's going to kill.
Because my money on Best Picture winning is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that's going to take it. But if that doesn't take it, I'd give it to Avatar.
I might boycott if it doesn't get Everything Everywhere All at Once. I might boycott.
I wouldn't be mad. Well, I want that one to win as well, but I don't know if it's going to win because it's too trippy. I can definitely see the war one. All Quiet on the Western Front.
That's so boring though. Like a war movie. Come on, let's give it to like a super that would be so dope for Everything All at Once, because that's just something completely different. So different. I was just like,
once again, when you have a story that has a great plot and all these other things, it turns some people off. We have a bland plot, you turn no one off. People won't be excited by it. If you get something really beautiful to go along with it, you don't turn anyone off. So that's when you start to get galvanized to people.
We might all be wrong. They're gonna give it to some bullshit. They're gonna give it to some Tar.
Tar wins. And we talk about Tar every episode. Everything we do here, I talk about how bad Tar was, right? And Tar gonna win.
Well, was it last year? Was it last year or the year before? I forgot when No Man Land won. Me and Alfredo were like, this is the worst movie out of the bunch. We hated it. It was so bad. And it wound up winning, and I'm like, how? There were at least 3 other movies. Maybe, man. Chloe Zhao was directing it, and she stole that whole award show that night. But you never know, man. I know that book of Sharon or whatever it's called. That's saying great things about that too. I don't know, but this one, it's fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. Visually, it's got to be one of the best things I've ever seen, just hands down. I can't even think of anything besides the last Avatar that looked anything close to being as beautiful as this movie. So, but is that enough to be the best movie of the year? Maybe, I do like pretty things, so maybe, a good pretty movie, where you kind of get lost in a over 3 hour movie, but I don't know. What about you, Perp? Does it belong on the list?
Oh, definitely. I definitely think I'm surprised it actually made this list because it doesn't seem like something like the Oscars would even like acknowledge, even though it's like a big blockbuster and stuff like that. You don't normally. I think Top Gun kind of surprised me more. I feel like that has something to do with Scientology, bro. Like that there's something there that's an inside job there. But yeah, it definitely I think it definitely does just because you just see just from the technical aspect of it and just this world and just like you said, like there's probably not going to be another movie that looks better than like this than to like Avatar 3, you know.
Yeah.
From a visual, just cinematic standpoint and stuff. It just, I don't really know what qualifies for Best Picture because, like I said, like sometimes they'll be on the money with it, sometimes they'll just give it to some bullshit. But I feel like they're more consistent than like a Grammys or something like that. But
I have no idea. I don't know what any of them expect anymore. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, you always know, at least with the Academy, they're gonna do a couple artsy fartsy films every year. There's always those kind, and then there's ones that look pretty, and then there's ones that just make a decent amount of money. I think you're always gonna get a little bit of that in them, but yeah, this one I'm not too surprised because the first one was nominated. It wound up losing to Hurt Locker, which is James Cameron's ex-wife. I don't think it's gonna win because the Academy doesn't like James Cameron.
Yeah, I mean that's wins, and
so weird.
I forgot about that. That might win.
Wins, it's because the Academy loves Spielberg and hates.
I can see that. I can see that. Just to kind of boost his catalog.
Yeah. Not only that, it's. I think Zack Attacks was saying it too, where The Fabelmans is everyone loves Spielberg. He's Mr. Director guy, the best director ever. But it's also a movie about Hollywood. Like, yeah, the Academy so far it's own, but and they love that kind of stuff. Like, you're talking about us.
It's weird that like you got a film like that about like cinema, and then like Babylon is kind of like the same thing. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
but I guess they didn't. They kind of missed the deadline with that. But
it's also Steven Spielberg. That's the thing that kind of sets it off. Yeah.
Steven Spielberg versus James Cameron.
Spielberg will win that every single time, even though the audience says completely different. But Spielberg will win it just because of his name.
I think they're gonna give it to Everything Everywhere All at Once though, just because it's like
A24 movie that was that good. Oh my god,
super cheap to make, and it just blew everyone out of the water. So,
Michelle did her thing in there. You know what I'm saying? She did incredible. But these are decent picks, from what I've seen, because I haven't seen them all, but like I've heard people talk about these movies and stuff, so it's like, okay, they're somewhat listening or they're watching other movies, apparently. So
the first time ever that I feel like they actually are watching something that's not just a small budget, whatever, actually something that has interesting, that's some drama in it or has something else in it that makes you feel good about it.
I want them to just acknowledge horror, or at least give it its own category, because I think it definitely deserves it. Because like horror's been around for over 100 years, and it's been around like it has helped keep fucking Hollywood afloat for a lot of things. Like when all else fails, it just you can always count on horror because you don't have to put like $100 million towards like a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? You can put multiple horror movies all at once. You know what I'm saying? And do something crazy with it. Like look at Pearl, look at X. Like they literally dropped 2 back-to-back movies in the same year. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
Let me finish this thing with talking about the Oscars. I want to ask you guys a question about the Oscars going forward for next year. But first, let's go ahead and finish this.
We'll finish it. We'll finish this one, and then we'll talk about
that question. I really want to ask.
All right. So if you're watching live, stick around. We're gonna talk about some other stuff. We're gonna probably hang out for a little bit. But for Avatar: The Way of Water, that's kind of our thoughts on it. I think we're all agree it belongs on that list, for either one reason or another. But visually, it's undeniable. But Perp, you want to give another shout out before we end the episode?
Oh yeah, go check me out on Perp Minded on YouTube and TikTok, and also follow me at Twitter at PerpMinded420. Got a bunch of content. I put a lot of exclusive stuff that I can't upload on my YouTube onto my TikTok because of copyright stuff and whatnot. So I put a lot. I like a lot of short content on there if you're into that, or if you like more of the long form stuff or like live streams. I don't know when my next live stream will be, but I got a bunch of different content. You'll be happy.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
so make sure you hit that.
Yes, some real good ones.
Yeah. I know. Like I said, thanks for inviting Brian to one of the last live streams. And you had a packed house, and you're able to manage.
You did a good job managing that.
Yeah, like moderating it, because there was it was a lot of people with a lot of opinions, and that usually might get a lot out of hand. And I think you made sure it was handled right. So
because a lot that alone. Because a lot of those people I had on, I've known them for so long, so it's like it's kind of just it's natural. But then I got Brian and like also another guy Ryan on there, and like mixing up with new guys and stuff like. I just always try to make it seem like whenever I put together a panel, I'll make sure it has to make sense, or just have to flow right and stuff like that. Sometimes it would just completely random and just work out and stuff, but I appreciate it though. I appreciate
you did a great job. I really gotta give you flowers for that one.
Thank you.
I was like, I didn't know how that was gonna work, and you did a really good job. And
Me too. I was just like, yo, I definitely invited way too many people, but we'll see how it works. We'll go.
Yeah. So cool. Check them out, and then also I forgot to plug it in the last episode. But go check out our link in the description. You can pick your Oscar winners who you think is going to win. If we get at least 10 people playing, we'll pick a winner, or the winner will be will win a gift card or something like that. But all you do, whoever gets the most picks, the correct picks, wins. So best picture, best actress, feature film. It's 13 of the bigger categories. So if we get at least 10 people to play in on it, then we'll make it an official contest, and the winner will win a gift card or something like that.
You want to put the link in there somewhere?
The link is in the description right now, and it'll be in the description for the replays as well. So yeah, go over there, check it out. So cool. But that is it for us talking about let me bring this down. I was talking about Avatar: The Way of Water. Perp, thank you. If you're watching live, stick around. We're gonna hang out and talk about some other stuff. If you're watching on replay, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that share as well. If you're into Oscars and if you're into other stuff, we're also doing Black Excellence for the month of February. And we're doing a bunch of other a bunch of other stuff as well. With TV shows and movies, so make sure you hit that share button. But we are out for this one.